And my objective reality is not a boring one. Like, I feel like when you start to talk about that, or like when I started to talk about that, it starts to feel,
Vague.
yeah, or like boring. Like, this is truth. It's a yes, it's a no, and there's real. And like, if with science, we can find real. But like, I
Mm-hmm.
believe that the objective reality is crazy.
Yeah, like the formula that is making all of this go as it does is extremely complex and unseen.
Yeah, yeah. You would if you were able to understand it, you would not be bored. Like, cause you almost think like, you know, in fiction, fiction's more exciting than nonfiction. You know, what could be is more exciting than what is. But I think if you truly knew what was, and I think good fiction is actually telling you what actually is, um, you would never be bored a
Hmm.
second. It would be so fascinating.
If it were to actually tell through the lens of how it all works, rather than just giving examples as to a certain story and the way it worked, but just seeing so far into how this all
Mm-hmm.
worked,
Yeah.
the cues in which led these people to certain areas or triggered their brains to think, man. Sometimes I wonder like why like my brain will like I'll look to my left and I'll see something interesting and I'll think, wait, I don't even remember thinking I should look left. Do you ever have something like that happen?
I think so. Yeah.
Like I'll all of a sudden be looking at something to my left and I'll be like intrigued by it and I'll be like, who told me to look
Mm.
left?
Yeah.
Or why did I just look at the clock?
Yeah, I think I subscribe to the belief that we're all smarter than we think we are. And I think like a
Hmm.
lot of and this is sort of I think a Buddhist idea was like the first time I ever came across it and then I kind of forgot about it. But like I think there's part of us like sometimes you'll be doing something and you're not sure what's the right answer, but like actually you know. And part of you might be ignoring that you know.
And questioning whether or not you do
But
know.
deep down, you know and you've probably known.
Dude, I think that that's where. Yeah, I think everybody. Okay, so everybody has genius in them. And geniuses are able to understand that they know.
Yeah, I think yeah, they've expanded the circle.
Like, when I think David Lynch, like, how did he know to make this decision? Or how did he think this up? And when I actually try and imagine that scenario on that day where he thought it up, I'm realizing he probably just thought of it and then just knew it was right. I don't know if it was you that talked about this recently, but I mean we've been talking about it a lot in these calls of just accepting the natural and how it goes. Like I think that's similar to where I'm trying to get towards is just overall working quicker and trying to find comfort in believing that I know rather than constantly questioning what could be better or best.
Yeah.
Even in like my belief in what existence is, you know? Just trying to act like I know. Or not act like, just trying to believe that I know.
You're right. It's a real balance.
balance of thinking deeply or thinking thinking a lot, you know, about things, but or working on stuff for a long time, but ultimately making decisions quickly.
Or at least like just knowing when you're right. Like
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
and yeah.
Like you have like I'm always, because I'm just working on this film project, I'm just trying to think like, okay, which street should I shoot this thing on, you know? And like I'm toggling, I'm trying to figure out like between 3 streets, and ultimately I'm like, it doesn't matter that much, they could all work, but I know it's this one.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
I know it's Camp Cardinal.
Yeah. I think that's exactly it, because it's great to question things. But you're right, you don't overthink. And
don't overthink.
And that right there, the gut instinct.
The gut. It's getting good at using your gut. That's exactly what it is. It's being able, it's like tapping into your gut is a skill. And so to get better at that is to just really shoot yourself forward.
I think that's exactly it.
In knowing.
Yes.
It's like, it's all in our gut. Knowing is within your gut.
Yes.
And so to become stronger in minded in whatever it is, it's to become stronger at tuning into your gut.
I think so. Yeah. I think your gut is smarter than your brain. Using these terms.
Oh, dude. Yes. And I think because, you know, there's that one Hugh Prather line where it's like, I tend to analyze life rather than live it. Mm. And that's sort of like this, you know, it's like, you can analyze all day.
Yeah.
I practically analyze as if it's my job. I mean, that's what I do when I write, you know. I go down as far as a path I can in any hole. Mm. And it's fun. I like to do that. But when deciding on things or trying to solve things or even making moves in a beat or you know, it's like, you know when that kick was the right one. You know when that snare was the right one. You know that this isn't it. Mm-hmm. Just as much as you know that is it.
Mm-hmm. I think one thing that you're really good at that I don't think a lot of people are, and that I've seen you get good at, like I've seen it happen, is your ability to decide when you do and don't want to do something. Like if somebody asks you to do something, you just kind of look at your gut and you go, you know what, that sounds fun, but I don't think I want to now. Not a lot of people do that.
I definitely feel like those are difficult moments for me because my gut is so present.
That's a good thing.
You know what I mean? Like, I see it as a good thing, but sometimes it's hard to be in that moment in which you realize you don't want to do something that somebody else wants to do. That's difficult. That's a difficult place to be.
Yeah.
To have a feeling in your gut that says something differently than what the feeling of the room is. Mm-hmm. So that could have been a good way of me practicing, is just by straight up deciding in terms of whether or not we should go to the caves.
And it's so interesting because I feel like it's not that you're like really like thinking like, well, I'm gonna be in bed by 7 and I kind of wanted to do this and I should take the trash out, but there's gonna be this person there and we haven't hung out since this time and I can drive. Like I feel like you just kind of think, I don't know, and this might be stupid and reductionist, but
you just kind of see it.
You just kind of see it. I even like when I go to like, if I want to watch a movie, I just kind of look at it and I'm like, what kind of movie do I want to watch? And then sometimes I'll be like, no, and I can't quite think of any. And then I'm like, well, wait a second, I don't want to watch a movie. I'm like,
Yeah, you realize you don't want
I
to
don't
watch a
want to
movie.
watch a movie, and my gut's been telling me this, but I'm trying to like look, like, well, but if you did want to watch a movie, what kind of movie would you want to watch? And it's like, no, I don't want to watch a movie. I'm like, okay, what do I want to do? Oh, I want to go outside. I want to go. Let's do that. And then you get outside and you're like, that was fucking right. And
Yeah.
I almost didn't.
I mean, do I want to buy a camera?
Do I want to buy a camera?
Dude, I do.
Yeah, I
Dude, oh fuck, I do.
do. Yeah.
Do I want to get on Amtrak?
You do.
I do.
And I don't think the gut is reckless. It's not just like your
Dude,
whimsical
dude,
desires.
dude, this is where okay. So I had this thought recently. Okay, so it's like, so your gut is sort of the gut translates your feelings, and your feelings determine how you should act. So basically, you should never do, like, life is feeding you what you should be doing and thinking about certain things to your feelings, and your gut then translate those meanings and feelings to your consciousness, whether or not you're able to tap in to your gut.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, life, like, if like my friend Tommy was feeling nostalgic, he was feeling nostalgic about being in Iowa City and about moving on to his future, possibly somewhere new. And I was trying to figure out what that meant, but life was sending him this message, and he had this feeling, and he called a friend that he had, like, talked about maybe living with, and he felt really good when he was talking to that friend about possibly living with them the next year. And that was me saying, life is trying to tell you that you should do that. Man, it gets really hard. That's how difficult the formula of life is. When you try and explain it like a dream, it disappears. You have this feeling of understanding of the objective truth of the universe. And as I try and relay it back, it disappears. Here I am, squirming.
I think it might be worth noting, too, that I don't think that the gut... It's not necessarily right. I think that the gut is the absolute best guide, the most informed resource.
Ooh. It's not the truth, necessarily. It's not what's right. It is the ultimate decision maker.
It is the most informed decision maker.
Yeah, yeah.
It is your best bet.
Yeah, and here you go. Here it is. Now you think about it for a while, but here's the best.
Here's the best.
You can go ahead. You go ahead. You think about it all you want, but here's the best.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can find something else that'll be all right, but this is, trust me,
Mm-hmm.
I've already done it. I've already done the work.
And that's absolutely been my experience. If it's actually the gut, there's a couple things that sound like the gut that aren't impulses, for example.
Dude.
Impulses are not your gut. Don't get that twisted.
Dude, that's funny.
But if you're listening to the gut, it's your gut. Okay, can I so this kind of, this is going to sort of broach into the one question that I prepared that I want to ask you at some point. I'm going to kind of ruin it just for the sake of, just because we're too there. What I think the gut is the subconscious.
Yeah.
I think, and it is your subconscious that is just always absorbing everything. It is my subconscious that knows the temperature of the wall, what that's going to be like. Because every time I touch a wall, my subconscious stores that. I don't keep it in my front brain.
Mhm.
I don't think about it. So what's fun about that little thought experiment and potentially these art projects is to bring something, just take the flashlight of your front brain and shine it into your subconscious and see that it's there. For a second, it's because you shine the light on it with your main brain, and for a second, it is now part of your main brain, and then it's probably going to fade back into your subconscious. And there's this thing where poker players like talk about listening to their gut and stuff, and I've kind of heard it broken down as like this like new way. Poker players have never been better than they are now because these people have been able to play online poker. So essentially, where you used to have to be able to find, 6 people to play poker with, now you can always be playing 10 games where you can just have as many games up on your screen as you want and just be playing all day. So they've just seen 100 times more hands of poker than players of the past. So even though they don't remember every hand they've played, their subconscious is storing that information of, okay, this happened and this happened and this happened and this was the outcome. And I did this, he did that, and that was the outcome. So then just having all of that stored, when a card flips, your gut remembers kind of what's happened all these times. It's crunching those odds that your brain could never comprehend. And it's going to tell you, hey, do this. And the players that have played more hands, that have given their subconscious more information.
More things that it's been fed more times.
Yeah. The gut is more accurate.
The gut.
And you listen to
the
it.
gut is more full.
Yeah. The gut is more full, yeah. And it'll tell you, and it's more right, and you're gonna make a good bet in poker. And so that's the same.
Odds are better. It's experienced more.
Yes. And so that's what is so great. I mean, it's reaffirming, but because I'm a person that loves experiences, but I think it's reaffirming in that if you can have experiences, you're feeding your gut. And if you can...
Experiences feed your gut, and just as much a poker experience feeds your gut poker skills, life experiences feed you life skills.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it.
That's really interesting.
And I think a lot of people...
just by the subconscious. Yeah, that's just what takes things in. When you do something, the subconscious stores, without even your knowledge of, everything that you've done within this encounter, even if it goes completely forgotten and out of your memory.
Yes, the memory does not hold it, yeah.
And if you get in the circumstance like this again and you're trying to remember what happened last time but you can't, there's part of your gut that has it that you can maybe tap into to figure it out.
Mm-hmm. People with trauma, some people, they repress the memory completely, But the way that it comes up is that, they have an aversion to cardboard or something, because maybe when it happened, they were on cardboard, whatever. If it's like a certain temperature, if it's 64 degrees, all of a sudden, you're just anxious. Because you don't remember it in your memory, but your subconscious remembers it. And that's how you find it out. That's how people recall traumas, is by exploring these weird, kind of seemingly out of place things that the subconscious knows, but the memory doesn't.
Dude, Ev, I mean, I'm just thinking back to the bar when this woman tells you should look into design at Ames.
Yeah.
And here you are, this, new bartender at Stella, bringing in bank on football Saturdays, and you go, you know what, I might actually do that. This actually sounds kind of good from my gut,
Yeah.
I mean, we have examples. We can go along all day, and it's really good to illuminate this, I think.
Yes. Yeah, the two big takeaways for me is listen to it, practice listening to it, the better you can be
I
at
was literally
listening to it.
thinking. I was like, if you come up with any more ways like that you've discovered of practicing tapping into your gut, just let me know,
Okay.
dude, because I'm trying to get better
Okay,
too.
1 second.
Yeah.
Because I'm totally gonna keep that going. But
Me too.
okay. So here's what I got for you that I can offer. So there's a man by the name of Robert Wagner, who has the book Lucid Dreaming, Gateway to the Inner Self.
Yeah. That's the book that you. Okay, yeah.
And I just thought, I mean, he's just
Whoa.
like, bro.
Dreams.
Yes, dude. He's literally just like,
Dreams are your
dreams
subconscious.
are your subconscious. They're a manifestation of your subconscious. You literally, your subconscious.
You go into your gut every
Yes.
night. You're telling
Yeah.
me.
Or you at least go into a projection from your gut.
Wow. Okay.
It's worth knowing.
That is worth knowing.
And so besides that, while
I
we
mean,
are
it makes
practicing
sense.
listening to the gut, I think it's also good to remember to feed your gut.
Feed your gut. Get on that Amtrak.
Yes. Yes.
You're right.
Because they're not just
you
inherently.
hear your
yeah.
gut. You do what your gut says, and your gut notices that. And it shows you things more often.
Mm-hmm.
It makes its presence known more often if it's proven to be used.
Yeah. And it's gonna strengthen, for sure.
It strengthens.
Because we know that with the poker players, we know that they're not all created equal. Guts are not just a link to the divinity that has all truth. But I think it's based on your experiences. So play those hands of poker. Play as many hands of poker, and
Keep
listen
playing 'em.
and listen to your gut. It's weird. Like I'm like so excited to just like.
I know, dude. This is a big
Except
discovery.
because I have
man.
no plans for the rest of the day.
It's gonna kind of just be sitting there like acting like you're not looking at your gut. But you are.
I'm just gonna just disgustingly looking at my gut.
You just stare. You choose to stare at it just to see what happens. I mean, dude, that's what transcendental meditation is. Feeds is that true happiness lies within,
Mm-hmm.
and that transcendental meditation is the vehicle to getting down there, getting in there to your gut.
I completely believe that.
And dude, I completely believe it too. That's why my gut has told me all about TM. You know?
Uh-huh.
That's why my gut feelings towards it were always good. Yeah, I've been thinking about learning it again.